Section 6. Navigation Database. Operators purchase the navigation data from third-party companies known as data houses who compile the navigation information from each state to support the operator's requirement. These data houses produce the datasets which are packaged and shipped in RINC 424 format to the original equipment area navigation system manufacturers or OEMs. The OEMs, known as data packers, code the datasets for the appropriate target area navigation systems. The databases are updated and validated in accordance with the ICAO AIR-AC. Each area navigation system uses its own proprietary binary database format. Furthermore, each operator has a specific requirement for navigation data. An aeronautical data chain is a series of interrelated links wherein each link provides a function that facilitates the origination, transmission, and use of aeronautical data for a specific purpose. Many different aeronautical data chains contribute to the collection of data that is required by the end user. The quality of the data delivered to the end user depends upon the quality of the data processing in all of the links of the aeronautical data chain: the surveyor, the airspace designer, the procedure designer, the cartographer, the AIP publisher, the navigation data provider, the avionics manufacturer, and the aircraft operator. Every stage of human involvement represents a risk to the data quality. Until the entire process is fully automated with very high-integrity software, it is not possible to even contemplate a guarantee of data quality. At present, it falls to the quality assurance systems of all the participants to identify any existing errors and inconsistencies and to guard against the introduction of any new errors. The data format changes at different points along the data chain. Each change in format represents another opportunity for error. Data to be based upon a series of common effective dates at intervals of 28 days. The information is not changed for at least another 28 days after the effective date, unless it is of a temporary nature and would not persist for the full period. Changes should be published 42 days in advance of the effective date to ensure distribution is complete 28 days prior to the effective date. Major changes should be published at least 56 days in advance of the effective date. Manufacturers, Type 2 suppliers, start to produce the data for the airborne systems. Each operator or customer will have different requirements depending upon the routes to be flown, the aircraft to be used, and the version of software in the avionics of each aircraft. 7 days before the effective date, the packed databases are delivered to the operators for installation in their aircraft. The packed navigation databases should be delivered to the operator at least 1 week prior to the AIR-AC effective date. The operator should have procedures in place for ensuring a. The correct version of the navigation database is loaded on the aircraft. b. Any database errors or omissions reported by the suppliers are addressed expeditiously by flight crew briefing and removal of procedures, etc. c. Any database errors or omissions reported by the flight crew are addressed expeditiously by flight crew briefing or removal of procedures and reported back to the database suppliers. d. The version of the loaded navigation database is checked for validity by the flight crew prior to departure. e. Prior to use, after loading into the area navigation system, the procedure is checked against the chart by the flight crew for waypoint sequence, waypoint transition, leg length, magnetic bearing, altitude constraint, and speed constraint. PBN operations are critically dependent on valid data. Although the navigation database should be obtained from a qualified source, operators must also have procedures in place for the management of data. Experienced area navigation operators who understand the importance of reliable data will normally have such procedures established. However, less experienced operators may not fully understand the need for comprehensive management procedures and may need to develop or improve existing procedures. It should be noted that despite the requirement for the database supplier to comply with RTCA DO200A Euro CAE ED 76, data errors will still occur. If the data in the dataset is incorrect, the data in the database will be incorrect and the pilot may not be aware of this. Each navigation specification includes requirements to ensure that the navigation database integrity is maintained and to ensure that only valid databases are used. The flight path extracted from the database should also be checked for accuracy and consistency against the chart information before and during every area navigation operation.